show, No Excuses Ladies. I am Eva Eckert and I am your host. So what is really No Excuses Ladies weekly show all about? It's for all of you out there, ladies, who have been struggling with making too many excuses in your life and find yourself really unhappy and unsuccessful in life. So this weekly show will teach you how to apply the no excuses mindset in all areas of your life with the foundation of health and wellness so you can succeed in life, move the needle forward with the necessary tools provided by me here. No Excuses Tribe is welcoming all the badass ladies out there and those of you who want to become a badass in life. So I am here to help you, to support you, to teach you and guide you to your full potential. I will teach you the power of self-belief, self-motivation, discipline, and mastermind alliance so you can stop making the excuses and create the life you truly deserve and desire by being the best version of you. So welcome again to the show. Welcome. I just want to quickly, ladies, invite you again for this show. Replay this later on. Make sure that you're following us on YouTube, following me on YouTube. The information will be added later on to this post. And quickly, again, if you are the first time here on this page or first time watching this YouTube video, make sure that you subscribing, liking, and inviting others people to the page because I think you're gonna find so much value in these lessons. Today is episode number 22. Can you believe it? 22. And we're gonna have a special guest, which I'm gonna introduce in just a second. So give me a moment. And again, please welcome all of you here who are just new to the page and make sure that you introducing yourself to this page, that you may be making a quick video or posting something about you because it's all about connection and helping one another here, right? So what would be your goal? What is your professional, maybe personal goal? So please write it down. Now, make sure that you're really participating in today's video because we are here on Zoom and we also here on Facebook and on Instagram and write the questions, participate with us because it's going to be amazing. Now, just to recap last week's show, we were talking about how people can discourage you in life. So if you have not seen these episodes, make sure you logging yourself in and again watching previous episodes because they are truly amazing. So again, today I want to welcome a very special guest. She's here with me, Debbie Grosser. And what we're going to be discussing today and in today's episode, it's something that a lot of us take for granted. It's our life. We're going to be discussing to be grateful and have a great attitude in life and really, truly appreciate what you have. So Debbie, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Eva. It's great to be here. And
you're welcome. All right, fantastic. So Debbie will tell you her story because Debbie is an author of a book that will be coming out in a few weeks. And she really tell you everything from the beginning, how it's all started. So maybe Debbie, just let us know what's the title of the book?
It's Never Take for Granted.
Never Take for Granted. That's the title of the book. So if you could just kind of recap how it all started, just tell us your story because the story, I will tell you guys, when you're going to listen to the story, when you're going to read the story and listen to Debbie, it will bring some emotions in you. And I guarantee you, it might bring the tears. It might bring something that relate to you. It might bring something that you went through similar thing. Because remember, the stories of our lives, they have certain similarities. Okay? And the fact that we are not alone in this life, it's just something that makes you feel better. So Debbie, please take over. I want to listen. I want to hear. I want to take some notes. I want to really be inspired by you.
Okay, great. First of all, Eva and I have known each other for well over 20 years. We knew each other back from the gym, and as most of you have come to know Eva, she's a beautiful, vibrant, athletic woman, but I have seen her now blossom into mega just a full, complete person who is capable in so many ways. And I'm
Thank you.
very proud to know her and very grateful that she is giving me a little bit of time on her program today. My story is that at one point in my life, uh, really had it all. I had the beautiful big 5-bedroom house with 4 bathrooms, a gunite pool, cabana, beautiful property, and a big job to support it. And I used to work on Wall Street for 30 years, and I made high six figures. And then, in a few short years, number one, I lost the job. Number two, and even, another big tragedy, I lost my husband at only 51 years old.
Yeah.
And then in 2011, 5 years after his death, I almost died myself. I fell down a flight of stairs, I broke my skull, and I suffered a traumatic brain injury. And now it's nearly 10 years since my accident, and it's been a long road of recovery.
Very,
And,
right? Yes.
and after I came out of my 6-week coma, I realized the fact that I was still alive, that I had a story to tell, and I wanted to share it with everybody because I think it's pretty remarkable. And that was the genesis of my wanting to write the book and to realize how much I had taken for granted. I had it all, and now it's gone, and now I have to start over.
Yes, but Debbie, if I can just ask you, because I think we didn't say a very, very important fact, if you wanted to share with everybody, that you have it all, right? You have the house, you have an amazing job. I remember like today going into your house. This was like, for me, I was just like a 20-something-year-old young girl starting. I was not even married, and here I come across such a successful, beautiful woman. That it's just have it all for herself, athletic. You were taking parts in triathlons. I mean, you are just beyond everything. Plus, not only beautiful, but, successful, like financially independent. But I did not know one thing about you at that point, that you were addicted.
Yes.
She was
I had
addiction.
A very big dependency on alcohol.
I had no clue, guys. I had no clue that that's what Debbie was suffering with at this point. And that's what she's talking about in this book, that, she had it all. She had it, like, when you think about it, what people really drive, what are the drives in our life? What is it? It's a control of, how you run your life. You want to have a control of your decisions that you're making, control in your finances, right? Being able to communicate and have great relationship, have money. Those are the aspects of our life that once they are there, you would think, okay, I'm successful, I feel good, right? I feel good, I'm happy. But that was something missing in there, that you had that addiction. And because of that addiction, you fell down the stairs, right? Correct?
Yes.
So think about it, like all the
stairs in the middle of the night. I broke my skull and I suffered a traumatic brain injury.
How long were you in a coma for?
I was in a 6-week coma.
6 weeks, guys. 6 weeks in coma.
And I was on a feeding tube. And the only thing good about a coma is that it took off about 50 pounds of weight that I had gained in the preceding months because I was drinking heavily. I was drinking a lot of Pinot Noir, which sounds very shishi and, like it was a good thing. But, it was taking me out of my athletic shape. It was putting on weight, water weight, and everything else.
Yes.
And the only thing good about the coma was the feeding tube and the weight loss. But I don't recommend it for anybody.
We're just making a joke out of this, almost the good thing, right. Guys. Don't take this like we are serious. We there is a lesson in all of this, which I'm gonna present you at the end. But right now, just take her story as she tells you. 6 weeks in coma, and really what the doctors were saying.
Right, and my heart stopped. I needed to have an epi injection in my heart in order to restart it, and I was spiking fevers of 106 degrees. They had to keep me in a special bed called an Arctic sun blanket, where they had cold water running through the tubes under the
Yes.
mattress to keep my body temperature low, because my brain could have fried and I could have suffered significant brain damage. And
Yes.
that means my cognitive capability would be gone. I wouldn't be here on a program with Eva. I wouldn't be able to write a book. I wouldn't be able to do any of that. But instead of beating myself up over my alcohol dependency, my addiction, or anything, I decided to get to work and spend the time in putting my message together and telling a story and sharing it with other people so it could potentially help somebody else avoid the pitfalls that I went through. Because, like Eva said, I went through the limiting beliefs and other things where, I didn't think I was all that great. But, in the meantime, the only person that was limiting me was me.
Yes, and that's a lesson right there, right? But
Yes.
if you could say one more time, Debbie, the name of the book so everybody knows.
It's Never Take for Granted. And I
Yes,
was going to put it up in the chat
yes,
area.
you can put in a chat. You can put it here on Zoom. You can put it on Facebook. If we can always add this as well, so you will have a chance actually to put your email in this link and submit your email. So once the book is going to be published and appear in stores or on Amazon, right? Whatever it's going to be
Yes,
released, you can
yes,
have a notification that it's available and you can purchase, and of course it's tax deductible. So that's
yes,
like,
because I'm directing funds to my foundation for traumatic brain injury research.
and that's
And
really important thing. I think of this fact that you wrote the book and all the proceeds will go to this. So this is a really such a great cause that you donating to, right? Because it's not only sharing the story and people can relay alcohol, somebody might not be addicted necessarily to alcohol but other things, addictions, and not really appreciating the life that you have, and then at the end there is a good story coming out of all of this, right?
exactly,
so
exactly.
so
Yesterday I did a post on Facebook because the guy who was in the room next to me where I'm living, which is the nursing
that's
facility,
another very
he
important thing, that from beautiful house, having it all, alcohol destroys you, and the fact that you went through such a trauma, you ended up being in a nursing facility.
right. And the guy in the room next to me, he passed away a month ago, and he was a New York State trooper helping a motorist on the Long Island Expressway, and he got hit by a car and flew into the air, and he fell onto his skull on the other side, and he never fully recovered. He never became fully conscious. He never spoke again. And so that happened 3 years ago. So he almost died then. And then he finally died physically about a month ago. And
That's
meanwhile, meanwhile, my fall was caused because I'd been drinking. And so it's a miracle that I'm alive.
yes,
And, so why am I alive, and why not Joe, the New York State trooper?
yes.
So they call it survivor's guilt. But my intent is to do good things with my life going forward. And I also, became, I took a road and a path back to God, and He's in my life again. And as a result, I'm in a much better place in terms of my relationship with Him.
Yes.
And that's been a very big and important part of the epiphany that stopped my drinking, and now I'm almost 10 years sober.
Congratulations to this. This is
Yes,
really something that I'm sure you are thankful every day. But I
yes,
believe that this is how I look at this. Obviously, I did not read a book. I knew Debbie from years ago, and look how life happens. It happens that you just like connected on Facebook thanks to social media, and you have happen to be on this show, and we start interacting, and I find out about the book, and we start talking, and I thought this is a great story to be told. Plus, you're gonna be starting really advertising for the book and trying to get as many people as possible to purchase the book, so the money is being directed into something bigger than you. So when you create something bigger than you in life, and we always say, have no excuses mindset. When you create something bigger in life, when it's something bigger than you, it becomes so massively strong and empowering, I think, for your mission, right? Because that's when we created Peak Physique, was the same thing. It wasn't just for us, it was such a big movement, big motion. We were saving lives of other people, right? So we wanted to encourage you all to really, like, first of all, sign up, put your email address, get that book, read that book, because this money will go to obviously a great cause. But it's any story that starts with, really, when you think about it, the biggest stories of our lives, it's always nothing ever comes immediately. Somebody is happy and beautiful, and that beautiful ending story. It usually, there is a tragic event, there is something painful, there is some struggle, and then the story kind of blossoms and changes, right? So this is what I feel. It's like, first of all, the lesson here is be grateful for what you have. Appreciate every little thing in life, because if you appreciate what you have, more will come to you. That's a law of the new universe. That's a law of magic in this world, I think, that counting the blessing. And if you concentrate on what you have that you appreciate it, right, instead of what you don't have, what's gonna happen? Because the law of the universe will give you what you concentrated on, right? So if you concentrate on the good things, more good things will come. But if you concentrate on the bad things, oh, I don't have this, I am not this, I cannot do this, more of this stuff's coming to. Realize, like, sometimes when you feel doubtful, this is what happens to me. If I feel doubtful, I need to cut this energy, bad energy, because I feel more doubtful a minute later. So I have to, like, shake myself and say, Eva, like, literally, what are you doing? You have so much going on for yourself. Believe in your capabilities, believe in your abilities. That self-belief gotta come in place, replace the bad things, and immediately you start feeling better. Even changing the spot where you are, like literally changing, maybe not sitting at the desk, moving somewhere, going into the other room, talking to someone, getting a different vibe and energy, it's so important. And I'm telling you guys, concentrating on the good things, because if you don't, more of the stuff will bring you. And yesterday I was literally, and other thing is, I believe, Debbie, if you agree with me, is that once you're gonna catch yourself on these things, that you do them, you actually do less of them, I believe, because you are so aware of the fact that you were, like, maybe so negative, right? Because then you're catching yourself and, like, hey, I can't be like this. I have to be more positive. I have to have more positive view in life, right? And that good things will be happening, right? And it's just, I believe that it's a one shift of thinking today can change your entire existence. That one shift.
Exactly.
Positive thoughts into negative thoughts, because we always hear this, everybody talks about it, but you hear this, but then if you truly don't feel it, and not apply it, it's not going to change your life. So, like, literally catch yourself on the negative thoughts, catch yourself on the doubting thoughts, catch yourself on comparing yourself to others, and I guarantee you it will change your life. And look, Debbie there's another very important thing. She had so much going on for her, and I'm sure that you can relate to this, that so many of you went through similar stories. She didn't stop and look around, because obviously her brain was fogged out of really by the alcohol, right? Because you were trying to cope with something deep stuff that you were going through a life. Usually that cause you something, right? There are other things that cause to drink alcohol, right? And she could have felt sorry for herself for all the stuff that has happened to her, like, losing the husband, the coma, losing the boyfriend, and all the other crazy stuff that happened with her. But instead, look what she did. She rewrote the story in a way that she became a hero at the end. Because by writing the book, I think she looks from a perspective on like another person, right? You wrote the book. This is what happens. And I don't need to feel sorry. I feel grateful that I'm alive. I am so blessed that I am able to share the story with others. So guys, rewrite your story. I'm not saying rewriting your story, making a fantasy. I am saying rewrite your story, that every story, the most painful one, has lessons. And if you take them, then you're gonna say, okay, I learned so much from this, or this was a good lesson for me, or this is my breakthrough. That's what it's all about, rewriting your story. I like giving you an example. I was raised by a single mother, no father, right? And I realized that all my life was always searching for that kind of father figure in male figure, right? Like looking for that support. But then, or maybe feeling even sorry for myself that I didn't have a father. But I think it makes me stronger at the end. So you gotta think, like, all these things are there for you to really build you up instead of push you down. The fact that you're going through life with certain things, it's all about for you to take the lesson and not push yourself into the ground, not beat yourself up, raise yourself up, and be thankful for the experience that you have done, and you have full experience, meaning connection to your emotions, and be able to help others, right?
Absolutely. And Eva, I was going to say that I know for a fact, having gone through even writing this book, everybody has a story. And most everybody has a story that's worth telling to the world. And so if you're thinking about writing a book, I would highly recommend it. And, maybe that's a topic for another day, but I really do believe that everyone has a story worth telling.
Absolutely, everyone. And when you and a lot of us, exactly, that would be a great topic for another time, really give you like points on writing books, because a lot of us could, but a lot of you would think, oh, maybe I am not a writer, right? I can't write. But Debbie, when you started writing a book, what did you know about writing books?
Well, I wrote books while I was working on Wall Street, but I wrote them about the company and the industry that I covered. So
Exactly.
I did have practice in writing in that regard. But this was my first independently authored book. And so I had to take it from my own personal experience because that's what I knew. So I started with writing about my early life. First, I actually start the book with everything leading up to my accident, and the fact that I almost died, the fact that my heart stopped, the fact that I was spiking fevers. I wrote about all of the the emergency surgeries I had, and then I went back to the beginning of my life and started there and wrote about my childhood. I wrote about my marriage. I wrote about my career on Wall Street. But it was very cathartic. It was very helpful to me in going through and realizing I really did have an amazing life. And I'm so fortunate to have the opportunity to start over, which is going to be hard work, but I will do it because I think that there's probably more things that I could write again with other books to come. But at the same time, I've been given a chance to live. So many people
Yeah.
don't get that chance. They,
Yeah.
die of a brain tumor or brain cancer. My friend just died in June, and she was only 63 and has a beautiful daughter. And so many people die early, and they never get to tell their story, and the world never gets to hear it. But that's why, encouraging people to write books, I think,
Yeah.
is a good way for them to reflect on their life and all that they do have. Because
Absolutely.
I lost, I could go crazy. I had the big house is gone, the money's gone, the material goods are gone. But you know what? I'm alive to recreate it again.
Exactly. And the power of human being is able to recreate things or create more things. Like sometimes, the resilience that we have, and the no excuses mindset. Like, look what a power of no excuses right here with Debbie. So much she had going on, and so much she lost almost her life, and she is able to put it in writing, the story of her life. And a lot of you will be watching and thinking, maybe you feel sad for yourself about little things, you overthinking, you being, you nitpicking of things that really don't matter, and here a person almost losing their life. So always really appreciate, guys, what you have. Be thankful for every single moment on this earth, and really live with congruency. Like, ask yourself these questions. What are you here for on this earth? Because this time has to be well spent. The time has to be really active, right? Acting proactively, creating. We all have it in all different areas of life. And like Debbie did, she put her words in books. And as I know from journaling, writing, it opens up the sixth sense in you. It does something to your brain when you write, and especially when you are writing your story. I know for a fact that certain things you start writing and open up things that you've forgotten about. Am I right?
Oh,
that it was like, wait a second, I forgot, and now the brain is bringing you something that you totally forgot about, but now here you're writing in such a vivid description of things that happen. That's really a power. It's like a magic. So,
well, the fact that when I had to write this book, the fact that I remembered so much of my life, and I remember details from meetings that I attended on my job, and presentations I gave, and the fact that my brain was functioning enough to be able to write this all down was a miracle to me. And I'm so grateful that I still have my brain power.
Absolutely. Yes, it's incredible that after 6 weeks of coma you were able to write book. And again, it's power. It's that power that we have. And like, think about it. The life is power. Like, when you think about life, it's that energy that you are given. Your organs, your brain, everything has that energy, and it has to show in certain ways. So I think writing, and like what she did, she put that energy on a paper. So we have energy to work out, we have energy to digest, we have energy to live. And we need to use that energy in a wise way, and with that no excuses power. So guys, I would love for everyone, again, please put your email to get notification of the book. Ask Debbie more questions if you have any, and make comments on this video. And remember that everyone has a story, and that you need to look into the future. Like we said, we gave you some great lessons. And yeah, I think it would be great if we would meet again and talk about writing a book. Right? That would be a nice recap.
I'm so honored, and I thank you so much, Eva.
My pleasure.
It's a huge push, and it'll be my first foray into actually launching my book, because that's coming up soon.
Really wonderful. So everyone, again, thank you, Debbie, for joining us today. Thank you so much for being here. And again, everyone, thank you for your time, because this is your time. You're spending it with us and watching it with us. We will talk to you, ladies and gentlemen, later. Have a no excuses day.
Recording stop.
Bye.
Bye, Eva.